So guys, this video is all about my garden setup. So just what you see in every single one of my videos. And I know you've all been asking, what net do I use? What launch monitor do I use? What training aids do I use? Absolutely, we're going to get into all of it. And each bit we're going to talk about, there's going to be a little insert here with the product, and there's going to be links in the description. And for quite a few of these, I have discount codes as well if you want to get and pick up exactly what I have. So let's get into the first bit, the net. So the first one, the net. This is of course what you all want to know. So the net is from Net World Sports. It's the freestanding driving range net, as you can see here. Absolutely brilliant net. I've had it for around 3 years now, and it's incredibly sturdy, really good. And one thing that you guys always have the questions of, and that is, yes, there's a back netting. This isn't just going into the back garden. As you can imagine, that wouldn't be good for the neighbors if this bit wasn't here. So there is a back netting behind it, incredibly sturdy. I mean, like I said, I've had it for 3 years, had to switch it around on the other side recently because it only just started to wear out the net. So this used to be on this side. So absolutely really, really good. Like I said, it is withstood all the weather the UK has thrown at it. So 100-mile-an-hour wind, snow, rain, and it is still standing, which is good. There's only one time which we had to do a repair job, which is up there. But that was when we had one of the worst storms in a very, very long time. So if you're gonna get one of these, absolutely, I'd recommend you to have a garden or yard where you've got turf or grass, because of course it'll be much easier to secure into the ground and make sure it doesn't fly up, as it can do if you haven't got it down into the ground. On the first times, let's say first few days of having this, we had a really bad storm, didn't secure it into the ground stupidly, and it almost flew over the net. Not the net, sorry, the fence. So you've got to secure it in there. So if you've got, let's say, an artificial yard, so back garden, or it's, let's say, paved over, might be quite hard to secure it to the ground. But of course, if you don't live in a windy country, it wouldn't really matter all too much. Unfortunately, I don't have a discount code for this, so I won't be able to get you any money off. But absolutely brilliant, brilliant driving range net. It's awesome for you guys to get. So guys, the second one here, and that is, what do I use for that? The launch monitor. Now, I'll tell you, I'll grab it because it's just off camera, and that is this. The FlightScope Mevo Plus. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant launch monitor. Now, why I chose this launch monitor, because I've had this since about February, is when I started having it in my videos, is because one, the price was really good for what you get. You get pretty much, you get your angle of attack, you get your path, especially if you get the pro package like I have, path, face to path. You can even get your strike location on it now with an extra package. It's absolutely brilliant to where it gives you pretty much everything a top of the range launch monitor gives you, but of course for like 10% of the price of those launch monitors. So really, really good. I cannot fault it. This has helped my game tremendously just since having it. So absolutely brilliant. I'd recommend everyone to get the FlightScope Mevo Plus, and luckily I partnered with FlightScope. So I'm now a FlightScope ambassador, so I've got a discount code for all of you down in the description. So I would only ever promote products that I use a lot of and I think are absolutely awesome, like I've been using this since February. So there is absolutely a link down there in the description that you can get 10% off. And of course, with the price of launch monitors, 10% is a good discount, and you can get it off of, or let's say you've already got FlightScope Mevo Plus, you can get that off of, let's say, the Pro package or the Strike Location package. You can get it off whatever on there. So that's absolutely brilliant. I so recommend this. If you can get the net, or let's say any type of net, and get a little launch monitor, you know, you don't even need to really go to a driving range again. So it makes it so you're never spending money on golf balls, you know, which won't go anywhere because they're cheap little range balls. You can go and get your golf balls and then hit into your net with a good launch monitor. Would so recommend it. Never had anything go wrong with it. It has been absolutely awesome the whole time, and I'm sure it still will because it is an awesome, awesome piece of equipment. So guys, let's get into training aids. So okay, the training aids I use the most, you've seen this one a bunch in my videos. This is the swing plate. So swing plate, again, I have a discount code for this, which is in the description. Now this is probably the training aid I've had the longest, along with my net here, so in my setup here. So absolutely brilliant. This you can use with so many different things. I initially, when I got this, was for my own golf swing. I didn't get this for my coaching to start off with. I just got it because I wanted to use it. So ultimately, what we're doing here, let's say for example I'm a golfer who swings over the top. if I put this just on the outside of the ball line, a little bit back behind me, it's forcing me to swing more underneath the stick, which is going to give me a little bit more of an inside path. If I'm someone who's, let's say, too much on the inside, I can move it on the in, and again, then just miss it in the downswing. I use this a ton for working on my pivot movement. So I use it for the extension pole attachment, which you can get separately, having it just outside my head and making sure I don't drift too much off the golf ball, which can be one of my faults, and having too much early side bend, which I talk about in my videos. This absolutely can fix that. Extremely good. This is a must-have, in my opinion, for golfers who want to really work on their golf swing effectively, because you can just do so many things with it, and that's with the extension pole attachment. So that is the swing plate. So next on the list for my training aids, and that is the Ripstick. Ripstick I really like. Now, I've used absolutely every single overspeed training device on the market, which that is what this is, overspeed training device. It helps increase your swing speed. Now, and this is by far the best one. Now, why I think this is the best one? One, it gives you a routine just like all the other ones do, but this one in particular gives you these 3 little holes in there. So with these 3 little holes, you can hear where you're the fastest in your swing, as you could hear from that, really whooshing. So what that tells me, where am I producing that speed? We know we want it to be after or at the golf ball. We want it to be the fastest part. So that's why I switched over to this from the normal conventional brands that you might see everywhere for overspeed training device. And I've been working with overspeed training devices for, God, probably like 8 years now. So a long time. Really good. I'd absolutely recommend a Ripstick. Really good, because it works on your technique also. Absolutely, link in the description for discount code on one of these as well. So overspeed training device is good for everyone. It won't damage you in any stretch of the imagination. Just got to make sure you warm up before you do the protocols. This has got a protocol on the website to follow, like a routine. Make sure you're warmed up. You don't have to be athletic to use it. It just builds up your swing speed with the technique you've already got. But for this, it can really help you apply that speed at the right time, improving some other little technical areas, which is why this is such a good benefit of an overspeed training device. Now, 2 more training aids to go here now, okay. This, seen this really quite a lot recently, impact bag. Now, this is the impact bag from Skills. Honestly, I just get it from Amazon. So this is where I just get this one from. Again, I have a link for this, but it's with a different company, which would be great for you guys in the US, golftrainingaids.com. They have all these in there. They have a yellow version of this. It's the exact same thing. It's just a bag that you put some, let's say, cushions in, or some blankets, anything that just weights it a little bit. Now, why this is so good is it really helps you with your impact conditions. If you're rotating nicely and moving through, you get some nice shaft lean and you can really feel it. If you throw your loft, you're an early release golfer, it feels horrible hitting it. I've used, again, these, I've used this longer than I've used overspeed training devices. I've probably used this since almost the day I really started golf. Wouldn't go that extreme, probably when I started actually practicing golf properly. So really good. Absolutely awesome. It trains that feeling. And what I really like about impact bags, it's good for what I call intermediate practice or bridge practice. What I mean by that is, as you know, that when you do a practice swing and when you go and hit the golf ball, they're 2 vastly different things. Your practice swing is always tremendously better than your real swing. That's a question people always have. How do I bridge that gap? This is a way to get there. With this kind of what they call bridging practice or integration practice, it gets you to where you're hitting something that's got mass to it, that your body's going to react to, but it's not a ball, you're not hitting to the target. So it gives you a little bit more of a stimulus in the practice swing, makes it a little bit closer to the technique you would generally do with a golf ball, and then you can bridge that gap easier. Really good way to practice. Impact bag, absolutely awesome. So the last one, other than just general alignment sticks, which you can pick up literally anywhere off Amazon. I think most of you probably have those. So the last one here is my resistance band. Now, I do not have a link for this or even a pop-up thing on there, because this was part of a training aid that has now been discontinued from what I'm aware of. You can't find it anywhere, and it was called the Power Hip Rotator. So it was just a little kind of harness you had on, and you would have these resistance bands would actually be on like a little pole that you put into the ground, and it pulls your hips. Really cool training aid. But again, from what I'm aware, I might be wrong, they don't make them anymore. But I took the resistance bands, tied them to an upright, and it's really good for working on your sequencing. So if I'm in this kind of like top of the backswing position, I can then have this kind of like little separation move, because when I'm gripping onto resistance band, I'm gripping on something with resistance. So I'm not really going to do anything with my upper body, so it's perfect for training that good sequencing. Really, really good. I absolutely love that. That's going to be a great one for you guys to go and get, absolutely. But any resistance band that's kind of medium kind of strength, wouldn't want it light, and you wouldn't really want it overly too heavy and too tight, but you want it to be fairly long to where you can do it just like I'm showing there. So absolutely, I'd love to help you guys out with that one, but of course no discount code for that because don't make them anymore, but don't even have that link also because they don't make them anymore. But you could probably find one around there that is just like that, just a bog standard, you know, resistance band would be great. That's medium strength and fairly long. So guys, there actually is one more training aid that you've probably seen in a few of my videos about right arm. Now, various different ways you can work with this type of training aid. Now, this is the one I've had for a very long time. Not that appealing as it looks right now because I've had this for about 10 years. So this is the impact ball, but absolutely brilliant. And they still do make these, the impact ball, as you can see there. So impact ball, absolutely great. Again, this is with golftrainingaids.com, and Golf Training Aids, I do have a discount code for it as well, which will be in the description. So absolutely brilliant. Why this is so good. Now this is quite wet at the moment, so it's cringing me out just putting it in between my arms. But if we keep this in between our arms, it keeps that space and that structure between the arms, gives you nice extension, stops golfers having the chicken wing. It also helps with keeping that right arm nicely moving in front, because keeping that space constant between the arms means you're going to have good right arm structure. So just keeping it in between the arms is really, really good. Very challenging if you struggle with right arm movement or structure in general, but absolutely brilliant one to have there. So picking up one of those, you could also get, let's say, a Tour Striker Smart Ball, for example, Watson Structure Ball. There are so many of them. I think TRS even have one now. So any type of ball training aid would be good. That one's just brutal because when you drop it, it actually drops. Like the other ones, I'm not sure. All of them, but most of them have a little lanyard that goes around your neck. Maybe the Watson Structure Ball doesn't, but great ones have also. So last little bit, guys, before we end the video, and that's just what I see with my ball flight with the flight scope. I use just a normal iPad Pro, just so I can see what the ball flight's doing. Once you turn the flight scope on, you have an app where you can connect it to your iPad, your iPhone, anything like that. Just an iPad or a phone will be absolutely brilliant with it. So nothing fancy with that. But there we go. That is my garden setup now. Of course, not absolutely everything on here because I don't really use all these things, all the other little bits you might see in the background. That's more what I use with my coaching on Skillist that I don't really have a video of. But absolutely, link in description for everything on here. And if you want to have a setup like mine, here we go. That'll be great for you. So if you like this video, click the like button for more golf instruction just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.